Sorry, that's probably a gross sound. The sound of me clicking my rings together. I'm just sort of taking a minute to get myself situated and in the mindset of being ready to do this and have a bit of fun. I'm also waiting for. Actually, let me. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. Let me actually post on social media about my stream because I'm a loser like that. Copy link. Let's go to Facebook. Also, if anyone is already watching, I would love to know so in the chat. If you feel like it, holler at me. I should have I'm up and running. Just dropping a little info blast on Facebook. Oh no, my air conditioning just turned back on. That's what I get for not actually getting started quick enough. Now that's gonna be an annoying sound for a minute. Unfortunately, there is nothing I can do about that. If I was home alone right now, I could turn the air conditioning off because I wouldn't mind getting a little hot while I was doing this, but I am not the only person that lives here. I don't know why I have a tickle in my throat as soon as I'm actually getting started to do this. But whatever. I don't want to get into it like in earnest until I know anything. Whoa, that's too much noise. What is virtual camera? I'm curious about something. Can I add another capture? Oh, I can. Oh, but there's a lot of shit in the background. I don't think I want there to be a lot of shit in the background. Um. Hmm. Let's. I don't know. Do I want to do? Do I want to do the camera? No, I don't want to do the camera. Especially because it's like big and in the way. I can make it. Can I make you smaller? Oh, I can make you a ton smaller. Huh. That's good to know. I need like a backdrop though. Oh, that's this thing over here. Yeah, go away. Oh, hey. I recognize that call sign. Welcome to the... Well, I was going to say welcome to the fun, but welcome to the not much going on right now. I've just been experimenting with how I want everything to be set up. Let me know if everything sounds alright. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear the obnoxious sound of my air conditioner in the background. Let me know if you can hear the sounds of the game when it launches. Books are the memory which does not die, inscribed in 5 languages over the gate of Hush House. Go quietly. Book of Hours is a forgiving game. There we go. Okay. Let's play a new game. Start a new game, overriding your save, yes. Good. I'm glad it's not super obnoxious. Thyrza Blake, 7th librarian, spent all the house's money on her projects. Ooh, that's really loud. At least it was in my ears. Oh good, I'm glad. There has been no librarian at Hush House since the fire. 7 years now. Suitable candidates are very difficult to find, but perhaps we have found one in you. Take care on your journey. The seas around Brandkrug are treacherous. Thunder growling, waves pounding, and finally me, sprawled on the sodden sand of the beach. There's something in my hand. Oh, health, half drowned. Shivers rack my soaked body. Your health is failing. Find somewhere to warm up. So that's counting down, so I'm going to pause the game so it doesn't count down more. Memory of the storm. There are storms great enough to shake the moon from the sky and one's thoughts from one's skull. A drowned book, the one possession I kept from the shipwreck. It must be important to me. The aspects below tell you more about how and where you can use this item. Hover over them to learn more. So, basically every item in the game has certain aspects that some cards share and some cards are different. So my drowned book specifically is a thing. It is readable, it is a journal, and it is soaked. If I hover over one of these aspects, it shows me what other things have this aspect. So if I hover over soaked, you can see my health blinking down there at the bottom because my health is also soaked. So I'm going to take this journal too. What do I have left to work with? Anything that matches the aspects below can go in this slot. Element of the soul, a memory, or soaked. So for fun, let's put the storm here. I can't get my thoughts straight, but there's something in my hand. Your single remaining possession is in a belonging slot at the top. It wants me to put this journal here. Perhaps this book can help me put the pieces together. And then let's try putting the storm here. Let's try to put my health here. So the health doesn't do anything. The book is in bad shape and I'm not much better. We're both in need of a warm, dry, safe place and soon. There was a storm. It smashed the ship like an egg, but I seized this book as the sea seized me. Then the sea brought me here to Brandkrug. So I can start this station, unpause the game. There was a storm. It smashed the ship like an egg, but I seized this book as the sea seized me. Then the sea brought me here to Brandkrug. And Brandkrug is where I wanted to be, but it's hard to remember why. What else did I lose in the storm? A memory of core. Core is exuberance, instinct, and rhythm. Do those mean something to me? A memory of Fet. Fet is the part of us which dreams. Are dreams important to me? And memory of Shapt. Shapt is eloquence and also understanding. The door opens both ways. Is my soul open to knowledge? So I can put the book back in here, and in this slot I can put, basically I happen to know that I can put in this slot whichever one of these aspects I want to actually keep for my character. I always like Shapt. In my personal life, it's always sort of a priority for me to understand and be understood. I work and think very hard on everything that I want to say because it's important to me to never be misunderstood, to the point where I frequently will overthink things that I want to say and never actually end up saying anything because I'm so focused on it coming out the way I want it to. But anyway, I can take Shapt, or the memory of Shapt, and put it here. The human soul has 9 parts. Eloquence and understanding rise from the part of the soul we call Shapt. Is my Shapt strong? Recover this, the other 2 will be lost to the sea for now. This is the coast where Brandkrug Isle lies. My sources briefed me thoroughly about the place, and I know there's no way I can cross to the isle in these seas. I need to find shelter for the night. So now my memory of Shapt has become an actual Shapt card, which goes in my little Elements of Soul Bay down here, along with my health. So now I have health and Shapt. Now, I just picked my first element of my soul. Jalen, I'm going to have you pick my second element, and that's going to come from one of these 4 cards here. So these cards are Memory of Metal. Metal is the capacity for meaningful choice. Did I prove my metal? A memory of Faust. Faust is sight, perception, inspiration, all the glory's gifts. Is my soul a bright soul? Ereb is pride, compassion, hatred, and fear. Do those passions burn inside me? And a memory of Whist. Whist is the name, the memory, that part which remains. Is it important to me that things endure? So what's lovely about this game is that there really is... Was the game paused? Okay, good, it is. What's great about this game is that there is no wrong choice. The choices you make just affect what kind of character you play as, but the game is playable no matter what you pick. Basically, it comes down to choice inspiration, passion, or memory. I'm gonna take a drink of my water. Okay, interesting. I have never played as the combination of Shapt and Metal. Well, I like that. Just because I wanted to. The only combination I've played as is Shapt and Faust. So really, anything other than those, I'm perfectly cool with going with because I've never tried it before. So yeah, why not? We'll go with Metal. So I put my book back in that station and attach the metal. Metal is the soul's tempering, will, self-discipline, that part of us which makes the right choice. Choose a strong metal and a past where you made mistakes. The waves will wash away the others for now. So I'm locking in our choices. We've chosen Shapt and Metal. So real quick, I'm going to get into sort of the mechanics of the game. These two, and now there's two. I used to only have this one. Now I have both of these. These are called stations. They're anywhere you can apply cards. We've been using the Observe station. I also just got it's called Shelter right now, but eventually this is the Talk station. So we picked Metal, and now it says, perhaps here I can atone for all I've done. But what was that exactly? First things first, I remember there's someone in the village who will give me sanctuary if I can get there. Mysteries have been added to your journal. You can begin to investigate them when you and your journal are both dry. Right now, the whole point of where we are in the game is to get to the village and get somewhere warm. But I have an address of an old friend. Denzil is the blacksmith of Brankrug village. I remember him from the war. If he remembers me, I can find shelter beneath his roof once I've reached the village. So, anytime you place an object in one of these stations, it takes time to finish crafting. So to get this one to finish, I have to unpause the game. But every time I unpause, my health keeps counting down. Your health is failing. Find somewhere to warm up. Brankrug village must be nearby, but it's hard going, dragging my soaked body across the soaked sand in the teeth of the wind. Which way? A memory of fear. The oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear, and the oldest and strongest kind of fear is fear of the unknown. H.P. Lovecraft. Above me, atop the cliffs, lies Brankrug village. I'll never reach it in this storm, but if only I can muster my remaining strength to help. Interacting with this slot will also highlight cards. So if I click on this, it also lights up any card I can put there. And the only card I can put there is Shapt. Which is essentially Shapt is my ability to both speak to other people and understand other people. The ability to understand and be understood. The door opens both ways. Perhaps there's someone out there even in this weather. I can fill my lungs and bellow for help. That would also mean I don't need to crawl any further. At last I see the light of a hurricane lamp bobbing in the dark. As it approaches, a face glimmers above the lamp. A fisherman from Brankrug village. He can guide me up the cliff if he trusts me. Which he doesn't right now. He's skeptical of me. Because I used my shaft in that station, my shaft is now fatigued. Which it will no longer be fatigued at the end of the day. So when it becomes tomorrow, my shaft will be usable again. I can't use that again today. But I can talk to the fisherman. Come closer, what's thy business? And I can tell him that I have a friend in Brankrug. Of course, since 1930 and the Restoration, the locals have grown ever more suspicious of foreigners. But there's someone in Brankrug that I know. Oh, 5 minutes. Okay. I'll take ye by the cliffs then. This gentleman is no longer skeptical. I can use him to unlock the village. So this locked icon is the village. Brankrug Village, Sanctuary in the Storm. I'll need help to climb the cliffs in the dark, and the locals are suspicious of outsiders. Alright, I've made it to the village, and I can use my old friend's address to visit Denzel the blacksmith. Denzel Smith has more work than he needs, and he rarely opens his door to strangers. Denzel looms in the fire-bright doorway. Denzel, help me. I'm drowned and I'm about to die. You here? How? So now Denzel's gonna save my life. Denzel only has the one bed, but he can offer me a straw mattress in the smithy. It's smoky, but the warmth is very welcome. You can also... So now that my health is in this bay, I'm not worried about it counting down anymore. And since this is going to take a whole 26 seconds to finish, I can actually ratchet up the time a lot. Although the fact that I'm streaming, is causing a very small amount of lag. So if I turn up the simulation speed a lot, then I might miss something important happening. Denzel pauses at the door as I wish him good night. Sun'll be back, he observes. Always do. Used to say that in the war, didn't we? So that's where I know Denzel from, the war. Which, based on the timing of the game, would have been the First World War. All of the games in this series take place in like a fictionalized period between the First and Second World War. So I have a memory of Revelation, and now my health is no longer half drowned. My health is just one of the 9 parts of the human soul. Health is the dwelling place of the soul, the 9th of 9 parts of the soul, and the only one that can be touched. So now I'm not dying, I'm out of the storm, and now I am no longer except for like the passage of the day up here, I'm not on any kind of time limit anymore. So now I need to. That was the sound of Denzel's smithy. Now I need to actually start remembering what I'm doing. So this is the village of Brandkrug, and across this bridge, this is Hush House, the library. So I need to figure out how to start getting to the library, but first, I want to dry off my journal so I can start reading my journal. Oh, I can't do that anywhere yet. That's actually weird to me. Huh, I expected... Oh, I expected to be able to do this at Denzel's house. Okay, so that's interesting. I expected to be able to put my book somewhere, but I can't. So I'm going to start dragging my other cards onto the screen and see if I can use any of them anywhere. So when I move metal, this building lights up, the local inn, the Sweet Bones. After the restoration of 1930, the new king's agents came looking for his enemies in these parts, and they weren't gentle about it. Since those days, the locals are suspicious of foreigners. No one in the Sweet Bones will talk to me, but we're going to use our metal to make them talk to me. I'm not going anywhere. They don't have to like me. They just have to talk to me. Eventually, the other patrons unbend enough to sufficiently let me buy them a pint, and listen to them complain about the weather. I'll find a warmer welcome here next time. I'm gonna take my medal back and a memory of solace. And now I think I can put my journal here. The clock ticks in the snug. A distant wireless crackles musically. Carefully, page by page, I dry my book. Can I put anything here? So when I click on this, it tells me I can put any of these in there. But because this is already lit up, I don't need to. Right? I like that. So I'm just gonna start this station like this. Oh, it's gonna take a whole minute. If I had put one of these in that bay, it probably wouldn't have taken that long. Four, 3, 2, 1. My air conditioning came back on. Yay! So my drowned journal is now called Scarred Book. Goatskin, antelope, some scarred leather that catches my memory. I should know what this is, but I don't. But now I might be able to... Ooh. I can give this book... So when I move this book, both my observe or my consider bay and this building lit up. The post office. The postmistress may have something for me once I know what to ask for. The postmistress regards me with the chilly gaze of a goddess image in an ancient hill shrine. The librarian, she says, "Yes, I have something for you. Wait here, please." The postmistress returns with an envelope addressed to the librarian, Hush House, Brandkrug Isle, postmarked in Wales a week ago. A letter to the librarian. A letter to me from St. Ronwen's Trust. The Trust's connection with Hush House is probably benevolent, but persistently obscure. And 10 shillings, so she gave me some money. And now I can read their letter to me. I can read the letter just automatically, or to reply to the letter, I need to sit down at a desk with some ink. I don't have either of those things right now, but I can still read the letter. The letter reads, St. Ronwen's Trust wishes to congratulate me on my appointment as librarian of Hush House. The Trust assures me that it will provide the promised stipend each spring, but reminds me that its resources are limited, and suggests I seek local assistance in restoring the premises. Let us know when you're all set up and ready to receive visitors, the letter concludes. It's signed simply, the trustees. So I still have that letter. So when I am capable of responding to it, I can do so. But let's also read my journal. Some books are made to be tasted, others to be swallowed, and some few to be chewed and digested. Francis Bacon. Studying requires effort. You'll always need a suitable soul guard. Basically, the elements of soul down here are basically their effort that you have to exert in order to do anything. Basically, anytime you need to create something else in this game, you need to use one of your elements to do it. So I'm going to read the book using metal. My journal. That battered leather cover is familiar, but the storm so scattered my thoughts. My journal, I'm sure of it. The storm scattered my thoughts, but each page I turn is familiar. I began to recall now why I came here, to understand my curse and redeem myself. Sand-scarred journal. I am the librarian of Hush House, and this journal will record what arose from my crime and my curse. The archaeologist's dearest wish. So we've just discovered that the choices we made, particularly the choice to pick shaft and metal, has made us the archaeologist. The archaeologist's dearest wish when they came to the house was to record a history where their crime could be forgiven or redefined. But you can complete the game by recording any history. You may wish to begin your studies with the Skokolosophy wisdom. Okay. Oh. Right. Okay. So I'm gonna go through these aspects real quick, just because they're particularly important to my journal. The aspect of knock. The principle called knock permits no seal and no isolation. It thrusts us gleefully out of the safety of ignorance. Knock opens doors and unseams barriers. My journal has a mystery of edge, which means I need to commit enough edge to it in order to continue to read my journal, which will make more sense as I do it. Memories of the archaeologist. I opened a tomb and found too late that it was a prison. The plague that I released is now my shadow, or perhaps I am its reflection. It is too late to set matters right, but it is never too late to protect the future from the past. In Hush House, I can do no harm. Perhaps I can even make amends. Huh. Interesting. So, as I'm sure you've already figured out in the watching me play this game, it is very densely packed with information, and really the way to play the game is to look at and read everything you encounter. So if you're a person that enjoys reading as a way to figure out things, then you will enjoy this game. But if you get overwhelmed by a lot of information, then it may be a bit more challenging to play. And I also know I'm glad you're watching me play, and I hope you're enjoying it. But I can assure you that the experience of actually being the one in the driver's seat and actually reading everything for yourself is a lot different from watching and listening to me choose what to read. Because as I read the game, I form my own conclusions and opinions about it. And because I've already played the game up to this point before, I already have a lot of those opinions and conclusions already, so there's certain things I can skip over and not look that closely at because I've seen them before. But when you start playing this game, which I really hope you do because it's deeply interesting, it will behoove you to really commit to reading about the game. And the beautiful thing about I got a new copy of Shaft. So now we have 2 Shaft. All right. So we've read the journal, and we've learned a little bit about our history. Somehow we opened a tomb and became cursed. Now we're gonna go over here and start unlocking Hush House, which I can start by unlocking the bridge. Every so often, someone builds a bridge to the Isle. Each bridge lasts 100 years or 200, then the sea disposes of it. This was built in the 1890s, and that makes it the newest bridge, but that doesn't mean it's new. So Hush House has been empty for 7 years. Those 7 years have rendered the bridge perilous. In order to fix the bridge, I need to find assistance from a character who has one of either Sky, Lantern, or Forge, which I know that the blacksmith Denzel, who I stayed with the other night to get out of the storm, being a blacksmith, he has the aspect of Forge. So let's go back to the village and let's talk to Denzel and see if we can get him to help us. I'm always welcome at Denzel's smithy. Denzel will offer help for free as a friend. I can also, if I want to, I can talk about something specific with characters, but I don't have anything to talk about anyway. So we are just going to enlist Denzel's help to get across the bridge. And now I have a fatigued Shapt. Now I have 2 fatigued Shapts, actually, and a copy of Denzel. Denzel the blacksmith will lend me strength for the day, which he has 2 edge, 2 forge, assistance, and an introduction. So introduction means he could, if he had the right aspects, he could introduce me to anyone else in these houses. But we are going to have him open the bridge for me. Or help me repair the bridge, I should say. And now, lodge at the gate, a cottage where Hush House's groundskeeper lived until the fire. If I can get into the place and make it habitable, I can use it as a base for reclaiming more of the house. I also need Forge to get in here. You can only use someone's assistance once, once you have it, but I need Denzel's help again. Fortunately, I have one more element of my soul that I can use to get Denzel to help me one more time today. So now all of my, I'm going to pause the game one more time. Now all of my elements of my soul are fatigued for the day, which means I basically can't do anything else today, except I can finish unlocking this gate. That's a good question. We have actually never been to Hush House. The library has been a dozen different things throughout its history, which we'll learn more about once we actually get into the house. But it's been like a country home for wealthy families. It's been a museum. It's been a school. The library is just the most recent thing that the house is. But our character has actually never been here before. We'll learn sort of a bit about like the last owners of the house and the last librarian, and sort of how they allowed the house to fall into disrepair. There was a fire 7 years ago, supposedly, but our character was not already at the house when the fire started. We have never been here before. That's a 58 or 38? 58, alright. I'm going to turn up the speed. So yeah, we can use Denzel's help per day as often as we want to, as long as we have an element of the soul that we can use to interact with him. Basically, I guess sort of think of like these as your actions, quote unquote, that you have. Yes, it's our first time being here, but so yeah, the elements of the soul is your ability to do. Ooh, we just unlocked the house. So this is Hush House. These are all rooms that I will eventually unlock. But right now we unlocked this little cottage that we can live in. But yes, we can use Denzel's help as many times as we want, as long as we have an element of the soul that will motivate him to listen to us. Because I have used all of my elements of the soul for today, basically all I can do for the rest of the day is look around and explore and click on things to learn more about them, but I can't really interact with anything else until tomorrow. Um, the one exception is in this little cottage I just unlocked. There's a key in here, the Hush House key, heavy enough that it takes both hands to turn, heavy enough to brain someone, though you need both hands for that too. I can actually use the key to unlock. Oh wait, I can look at the key though. Yeah, we don't need to do that. I know it's a key. I can use this key to unlock the gate of the Hush House. The walls of the house tower above me. I had been told that it was abandoned after the fire, but there is no sign of any such thing. The building will no doubt need restoration, but it's in much better shape than I feared. Books are the memory that does not die, reads the inscription above the gate. So apparently there was a fire. That's what everyone says. But the house does not look like it's ever been on fire. Oops. Accidentally knocked my ring against my desk. That always makes a kind of gross sound. Oh, night has fallen. I'm gonna pause the game just because we're learning stuff. So this is the sitting room of the Hush House. There's antlers, chairs, a bust of Serena Blackwood, paintings, treasury of shelters. I love the interesting things that this game, it's very charming and interestingly written, because obviously that's an umbrella stand, but the game calls it a treasury of shelters, like an armory for not getting pneumonia. That's what I love about this game so much. The way it chooses to not just call things what they are. Everything could be something else. It's so interesting. But I'm gonna chill in our little cottage, just because it's nice in here. But I'm gonna unpause the game and let it become tomorrow, so that I can basically start using everything again. Memories fade, assistance departs, but the soul is refreshed. So, a lot of what I had gained yesterday, particularly all of these memories that were over here, are now gone. Oh, yes, my air conditioning shut off again. I love it when the air conditioning is on, because it makes my space nice and cool and comfortable, but it makes such a racket. But anyway, so now it's the next day, and the game is still paused. And usually at this point, what I would want to do is continue to read my journal. Oh, yeah, I can put my journal on these shelves. These are all books that I will eventually, like, catalog and then try to decipher. Ooh, Traveling at Night. That's what their new game is called. That's really cool. These are all uncatalogued books. But these two have already been cataloged, and I know the title of these books. I haven't read them yet, but they've been cataloged. I don't know if these have always been here, Traveling at Night, because that's the name of the new game, which is super cool. What I'm actually going to do, though, is I'm going to read my journal. So now there's a lot more bays that I can put things in. When I put my journal in here, it gives me a challenge that I have to meet. I have to meet mystery edge. So I need to put enough edge aspect in these other bays to match the edge mystery of my journal in order to read the journal. Fortunately, metal gives one edge. So if I put metal in this bay, now I can master the mystery. Enough edge to match mystery edge. Cataloging a book means... So, interesting. That's actually really good timing to ask that, because what I just mentioned about I have to read my journal by applying enough edge to it. Let me put this one over here. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a step ahead. To catalog a book, I just have to apply. Let's put Shapt here just to find out. This book was probably written around the time of Hush House's Curia period, roughly the 1700s to the 1800s. If I examine it, I can learn more about what knowledge it might contain. Books from this period are only rarely contaminated. Reading certain books can cause you to become cursed. This one probably isn't going to curse me, but just for fun, we're going to catalog this book using my Shapt. Now I have an idea of the book's nature and its content, so I now know that this book is called The Radical Measure. The original Radical Measures was a manifesto for experimental poetry with occult properties, written in the 19th century by Dr. Aaron Peel. The original is notoriously incoherent. Much later, Christopher Illopoli took on the task of editing and glossing it. He has taken some liberties, but the updated version is generally well regarded. So I used my Shapt on a book that I knew nothing about, and now I know what the book is and what the book is about. Once I have more skills, particularly enough rows skill to get 12 rows, I can actually learn something from that book. But that's like a way off. 12 in this game is a huge number. Right now I have 1 forge, 2 knock. Because I have 2 Shapt, I actually have 2 forge and 4 knock. And for my metal, I have 1 edge and 2 forge. So I have the most forge out of anything else. Altogether, I have 6 forge. But it's all about these icons down here. But I'm gonna go back to reading my journal. So that was a fun little experiment into cataloging a book. But now I'm gonna go back to reading my journal. I need to have enough edge to read my journal, and I can get that by putting metal back in there, and I can read my journal. Oh, it started a new 50-minute timer. 50-second. God, I couldn't imagine waiting 50 minutes for anything. I usually don't have... I mean, I try to be patient. Sometimes I don't have a lot of patience. I don't always I'm surprised I have the patience for this game. So I mastered my journal. This doesn't show me any new information. So I can put my journal up there, I can put metal back down here. But I gained some 2 new cards. Ooh. Lesson, wolf stories. I've gained more understanding of wolf stories. Use this card with consider. And lesson, ragged crossroads. I've gained more understanding of ragged crossroads. And I got 3 copies of ragged crossroads. Excuse me. So these are, well, right now they're lessons, but I can use lessons to make skills. Use this lesson to acquire a new skill. I'm about to acquire a skill called wolf stories. What does that even mean? Well, actually, let's read a bit about it. Moon. Secrets are soft. Night is softer still. The sea speaks. It is not always wise to listen. Scale. Hard without, hard within, hard to rouse, harder to subdue. What's left of the crude powers of the deep earth. It's a memory. Persistent means it won't go away at the end of the day. And a lesson is a step on wisdom staircase. So, essentially, I gained lessons, which I'm using to transform into skills, and I got those lessons from reading my journal. In a nutshell, that's basically the gameplay loop. Once I have enough, like these books here, once I have enough aspects to read one of these books, it will give me a lesson which I can use to make better skills, which then I can use to read harder books and get better skills. Sometimes we eat the wolf, and sometimes the wolf eats us. Another leaf on the tree of wisdoms. Ragged crossroads, to understand why 4 paths were not taken. And what else can I do? Oh right, I can make my ragged crossroads skill better by adding 2 more copies of the lesson crossroads. And oh, but I need to use my, okay, I need to put metal here in order to do it. Alright, now that I have 2 skills, things are about to get, if you can believe it, weirder, because I'm going to open the Tree of Wisdom. This is basically the point of the game, actually. Filling these branches with the skills that you find is how you, like, eventually beat the game. But I have to start by committing my journal to it. and I gained a card called Trist, which is another part of the human soul. It's the change and the longing. It's the part of the soul that wants things to be different. Yes, this is what I showed you today. This is basically the point of the game. Kind of. What's beautiful about this game is that there's not really a point to it. Ugh, this is such a great game. It's weird, but it's so good. But the game recommends that I might wish to begin with the Skokolos Sophie Wisdom, which is this one. So, in this first bay, I can put wolf stories, which gave me a new... It gave me Arab. That's not what I expected that to do. I thought it was going to give me another medal. That's really cool. Arab was one of the 4 that you were choosing from earlier, one of the ones you didn't go with. So I ended up getting a copy of Arab anyway. Now that Arab gives me another edge, I can go back and do what I was trying to do a minute ago, which is... So, my skill, Ragged Crossroads, 2 lessons of Ragged Crossroads, and my new Arab element gives me, after 30 seconds, gives me a level 2 Ragged Crossroads, which I can go back into the tree and put in this level 2 slot and gain a new shaft. Cool. Arab is pride, compassion, hatred, and fear. Edge and grail. Basically, it's just sort of, I've always thought of it as sort of the animal part of the soul. Those, Arab is those emotions that we can't always control. Now I need to take a second to think about what I am gonna do next in this game. Because I can stay in this room and maybe see if I can catalog some other books. I can make some tea. Should we make tea or should we make coffee? Actually, I'm sorry, never mind. Don't answer that question. Because I don't want to do either one and then wish I had done the other. Because there might actually be a point later in the game that because like I only have one set of like cups to serve them in, and so I would only, until I found a new like serving set somewhere in the house, I would I wouldn't be able to do it again if I made one and decided I wanted to make the other. Oh, but what I can do is I can make this bed my bed by putting my health in the bed. I'll make this my lodgings for the time being. And it's also going to become a new day while I'm doing this. Dusk has fallen. everything's about to refresh. Sunny outside. The sun is not what it was, but today he is smiling. I have bread, I have coffee, I have tea, I have a serving set, I have a bottle of wine, fresh linens, a plant, a mirror, another mirror, another plant, candle, a chair, fireplace. And that's basically everything I have in this room. So I'm gonna go unlock another room of the house. The stairs to the room above are blocked with debris, and the plaster is peeling from the walls. I'll need help from the village to clear and restore the place. So to unlock this door, I either need forge again and lantern. Wine for breakfast. Forge, lantern. And I remember that my friend Denzel in the village, the blacksmith, has forge. Oops. Sorry I keep doing that. I hope that's not an awful sound. Basically, I keep my hand under my desk, and then when I need to use it, I move it on top of my desk, and sometimes my ring hits the bottom of my desk on the way up. Use a shaft. Now that I have a ton, or I say a ton, now that I have 3 copies of Shaft, when it doesn't really matter which of my elements that I use, I'm gonna always use Shaft. Because I'm not worried about running out of Shaft and then needing it later. Alright, Denzel, come help me get into my house. The history of the house is also divided into periods where different things happened. And certain rooms were built in certain periods. Like the lodge I'm living in right now was created during the baronial period. In the 16th century, the De Wolf family became the Barons Brankrug, governing the Isle as their personal estate until 1759, when their line ended in madness and death. The Watchman's Tower is also baronial. Back in the 11th century, Brian of Brittany built the tower and its gate to protect St. Brandon's Abbey, as Hush House was then known. Later, the Barons de Wolf strengthened the gate against their many enemies. But it's a long time now since Hush House was any kind of fortress, and by the time the scholars of the Curia took possession, this place had long been a comfortable waiting room for visitors to the house too minor to merit immediate attention. No, I wanted to read that. Oh, that's a writing desk. I can use that to reply to the trust. Uh, the notorious Ava de Wolf, first and last Baroness Brancrew, liked this room because this side of the house carried fewest memories of her poor father Valentine, so she could eavesdrop on the conversations of visitors waiting below, or just because of how the pale light slanted through the windows in the last days of winter. But Walter de Wolf, I can use this desk and this ink and this letter and a part of my soul. Oh, the soul that I use determines the tone of the letter. So let's try Ereb. The journey was difficult, but nothing could keep me from this house. This place is everything I had imagined, or it will be once I've returned it to its old glory. Or the sea remains, the house remains. What else remains, we shall learn in time. I am something new, and in time I will learn what that means. I can put metal there. The journey was not straightforward, but here I am. Hush House is empty and peaceful. Nothing walks these halls. If something once did 7 years ago, the fire must have purged it. I'm gonna put tryst there. I like the tone of I am something new, and in time I will learn what that means. What is that? My AC shut off and suddenly I'm hearing the screams of the damned. Did you hear that? Did you hear the screaming in the background? You know what that is? That's my fucking neighbor kids. There it is again. The fucking neighbor kids. Oh, kids. You know what one of my least favorite things is at work? This is gonna make me sound kind of like an asshole a little bit. Um, I don't I don't hate serving gelato to people. Um, when I first started working there, I really didn't like doing gelato. I've since got over it and I'm kind of more okay with it. But like when unattended kids walk up, honestly, unattended kids anywhere, if I'm honest. But when unattended kids walk up to the gelato counter and I'm like, where are your parents? Am I even supposed to be giving you or selling you gelato? Where did you get your mom's credit card? Who are you? Yeah. Don't I don't generally dislike kids. I don't think. I think if I were to actually say that, I would feel like more than an asshole than I am. But just control your kids. Just, if you're a parent, just control your kids. Like Zach likes to say about these screaming kids out here, particularly. That like growing up, if he had made so much noise playing outside that they could hear him inside, he would have got his ass beat. I mean, not seriously. They didn't beat their kids, but they disciplined their kids. And if he was loud enough playing outside that they could hear him inside, he would be disciplined. Right, exactly. Unattended kids are not trustworthy. But yeah. I'm gonna go to the post mistress and send this letter with some money. Ooh, so now that I have replied to the trust saying, yes, I made it to the house, yes, I'm here, yes, I've got inside the house, I can now expect visitors to turn up who I can kind of talk to and either give books to or like get books from. I can also expect letters from the trust and other people, and I can expect like a few shillings as a stipend from the trust every spring. Mirror scope. Baron Silence's astrolabe. Baron Silence. That's such a badass name. Walter DeWolf. Should I start reading books? What is it that I wanted to do? There was something different that I wanted to do when I started playing this again. I think it was, instead of like trying to unlock all of the rooms right away and quickly like overwhelming myself by how much is in the house, spend more time in each room and like figure out if I can use what's in the room. So I'm actually gonna go back to the lodge and start reading more of these books, or trying to catalog these books. I really like the job that we all do together. I think that we are a really good team. I think we all work really well together. I like that we all genuinely like each other. Because I worked in places where people didn't like each other. And apparently the coffee bar, kind of before it had the team that it had now, it used to be, the people behind the coffee bar used to not like each other. And I think that's such a shame, because I know it's a job and I shouldn't be able to expect everyone to like each other all the time, but I'm really glad that we do like each other. Because it just makes it a better place to work. It makes it a more fun place to work, but I also think we do a better job. I mean, we kind of mess around a bit. Sometimes I think Jordan and I, honestly, probably mess around a little bit too much sometimes. But we work really well together, and we can pull it out. Like, if it actually gets busy, we can buckle down and we can get our shit done. I mean, we got a 95 on our last ORT check. That is awesome. The last time they did a check, it was like a 76. That is so awesome. We have done such a good job together, and that's because for all the fun we're having there, we also do a fucking good job. And I love it. I love it. Yeah, that's awesome. I saw the report. It turns out it was actually 94.49, but still. That's close enough to 95 that it doesn't even matter splitting those extra points, but I mean, a big part of the reason we got that score is because we have been expecting and waiting for ORT to come and check us for like 3 months, and they just never did. So we got ready for an ORT check like every other week. That's the whole reason we were ready. I mean, that and the fact that we're really good at what we do. I forgot to actually like read about the book I just cataloged. Ava's Treasury. Eva de Wolf, last of the Brandkrugs, discusses the occult and aesthetic properties of jewels and other precious minerals. The Intimations of Skin. Fiendishly complex, weirdly distorted illustrations of Congress and anatomy by the haunted visionary painter Niels Fredrik Malsker. It really did take forever to come. Alright, so I've cataloged all of the books in this room. I don't... Ooh, wait. I might be able to read a book. Maybe. No, I can't, actually. Because I can only put one soul card there. I was thinking because I have so much Shapt, I have enough Knock to read this book. Because I only need 4 Knock. But I need other things. Like, it can't all be soul. It has to be a soul, a skill, and a memory. Okay, that's fine. Oh. Watchman's Tower, top floor. The ceiling bows worryingly under a damp patch. There must be a leak in the observatory. Okay. No, go ahead. I probably won't continue to do this much longer. Only because I am tired myself. I'm tired of using my Shapt for the day. I'm tired of having to be eloquent. But I'll keep doing it for a little bit. The ceiling bows worryingly under a damp patch. There must be a leak in the observatory. The sun above knows what state it's in. I should seek help and enter carefully. Grail or sky? I don't know where to get those. I might be able to find someone who has Grail in the inn. Right now, at this point, I'm actually just waiting for it to be tomorrow. Oh, I don't have to work tomorrow. I know that you do. So it's not the most considerate thing for me to say that, but I'm glad I don't have to go to work tomorrow. You know, what else is down here, actually? There's like a whole beach down here that I've never been to. Okay. Knock, Lantern, and Sky. Edge, Forge, and Heart. Oh. Denzel might be able to introduce me to the Keels. What's up, Denzel? I really appreciate your help. Can you introduce me to the Keels? No, you can't. Why is that? Okay, is there anything else you can do for me? Alright, so I just got Denzel's help for no reason. Okay, let's see if someone in the Sweet Bones can help me. Or add a coin to find visitors seeking implement. I put a tuppence in here. Provides Grail, Moth, and Rose. Hmm. Yeah, I've lost my ability to be a real person. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. I enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun. Thank you for coming on this adventure with me. I hope you had fun, and I hope you are as interested, if not more interested, in checking out this game for yourself. At this point, you've basically seen like as much as I've seen in this game. I don't really know where the game goes from here. I know it's a lot more of kind of what I've already done, but from this point, I really don't know what happens next. But I'll find out. And if you pick up this game, definitely let me know. All right. I'll see you next time on the name of the game.